back to episode 5 of Maxing Your Music Creation Experience Without Touring. My name is Will McBride, and I'll be sharing some information with you on this episode about booking locally. But first, I want to make sure that we're targeting the right people. This episode targets, all the episodes target local and regional musicians who want to do original music, not pure cover bands and not tribute bands. If you're one of those people that has a desire to create original music, but you're probably maybe over 40 years old, well past your rock star years, you're proficient on your instrument and you practice a lot and you have a group of skilled musicians around you, either a tight band or just people you work with. Maybe you have a family or career or both. You don't want to tour. You don't want to play it till 2 a.m. in bars anymore. But you want to play those big rooms with sizable and eager audiences just like the bands you admire. Well, this is for you. Now, in review, episode 1, we talked about being ready with a compelling product. Episode 2, we talked about thinking big. Episode 3, we talked about the songs. Episode 4, we talked about the royalties. Now, episode 5, we're going to talk about booking locally. Well, first thing I'll say about booking locally is booking is selling. Just is. That plain and simple. And most musicians don't like to sell, but it is what it is. If you want to get out there and be in the music scene at the pace you want and present your band, you've got to learn to do that. Now, if you decide, well, no, I don't want to do that, I'd rather leave it to an agent. Well, let me caution you about agents. First of all, agents only want cover bands. That's been my experience. And they're kind of cliquish. They have bands they like too. But once you break in, then you start accepting gigs. They book you wherever they want to and whatever frequency they want to. And if you start declining gigs, then you're out. And you won't get the call anymore. So for me, that doesn't work. I mean, I know it works for bands, especially cover bands and tribute bands that want to work a lot. Yeah, that works great. And plus, they take a cut. So, not that that's a huge deal, but they do take a cut of your money. So, for me, I prefer to book myself. As far as venues go, if you want to choose your own venues, which you do, if you're not using an agent, you're doing it yourself, then you probably want to make a list of venues that are compatible with what you're doing. Menu venues is what I call them. Ones that serve food or, that sort of thing, that have other stuff going on, basically. They'll usually allow up to about 25% originals anyway. So that helps a bit if you're going toward eventually becoming an original band. If you can get a house gig at something like that, that makes you very tight, but house gigs don't pay as well. You're doing it, they're getting volume at a discount per play. I find that late gigs are not really good for original bands. The later it goes, the more people drinking alcohol, the more they want to hear something that's familiar to them. And so if you're playing in bars that are at 2 a.m., you're not doing original music. So it's probably, if you're the person that's stuck with us this far in this series of episodes, you're probably not that person anyway. The best way to contact a venue, especially like a cold call or something, is either hit them up on their website if they have a info ad or booking ad or something like that, or if you have to contact them directly, call them in the afternoon on a weekday, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon before their dinner rush happens or whatever their main business is in the evening. That's the best time to do it. This brings me to tip number 5, since this is episode 5. And tip number 5 is you need a website. The website allows you to present yourself. For when you're not around, the website presents the band for you. You want to state your style in your bio, your accolades, reviews, any awards you got, credentials, put it all on the front page so it's easy to find, because they're only going to look at it for a short amount of time. They're not going to be curious enough to dig to page 3 down at the bottom. Contacting a venue, you can do it via email, like I said, but it's a lot of times if you drop a business card that has a web link on it, that's usually has the information they want. And I find that email connection is the best way, because if you can get a response back, then now you have a conversation going on and you can say what you want and they can consume it at their own convenience. They don't have to be ready when you're ready. They can be ready when they're ready. Now, you may want to create a script, something like, Hi, state your name. I understand you have music and we're looking for a weekend show. Do you have anything in available spot? I would also recommend asking at least 6 weeks in advance, because if you're too last minute, then you seem desperate, and if you're too far out, way ahead, months ahead, they probably don't book that far out. I'm sure some do, but at least 6 weeks is what I found to be kind of the sweet spot. If you don't get the gig, don't write that venue off. Contact them later, maybe in 6 months or so, because venues change ownership all the time. And also, when you do that, be prepared with terms that you need, like the price, the number of sets, number of breaks, anything like that. Be prepared to talk about that. And then at the end, as I teach all salespeople, ask for the gig. Be sure to ask them directly, can we book that date? I can't stress that enough. If you do get such a gig, I will suggest to you that if you're going to put originals in, I would not introduce them. It's best to play originals immediately following a cover song that got a good response, because you have their attention now. That's the best way to do that. After some time, originals that you do, 10 to 20%, I guess, are as polished and as good as the covers. That's what you want to work toward. And collect a good list of venues that you've played. You want to make sure that they know that the quality of the music that you're going to present, originals and covers, is consistent, and you want references. So that's really, as far as booking local, that's it. It just takes a lot of persistence. And just remember, it is selling, and so you have to put your best foot forward. You have to present the band in its best light. You have to present yourself in the best light. If your band is great, but you're a jerk, then they're not going to hire you. And I would just say, beware of agents. I've not had good success with them consistently. And again, my background is a mid-sized music scene in Raleigh, North Carolina. I've done many years with my band as cover band, sneaking in originals when I can, but we eventually evolved into doing local theaters and opening shows and starting to collect royalties. All that because of the original music. And I did all this after I was 40 years old. So again, there's no formula to doing this. I'm just giving you experience. Your results will vary, of course. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, and please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'll mention, if you're interested in the band's called the Will McBride Group, and you can reach them right here at this website, www.willmcbridegroup.com. Stay tuned for episode 6. In the meantime, be well.